Lorena Aguilar from IUCN. Lorena Aguilar is the Senior Gender Advisor to IUCN, based in Costa Rica. She has been very crucial in her efforts towards a sustainable and equitable human development in Latin America, but also globally. And she has provided technical assistance to international organizations, governments, and universities in areas such as water, environmental health, gender and community participation. And through her projects and initiatives, she has made possible the formation of a wide network of specialists that provide technical assistance to more than 150 projects. Lorena will present gender and climate change adaptation issues, and you have the floor. Thank you.
May I have the presentation, please? Next. Thank you very much. In order to talk about the linkages of gender and climate change, we need to put a human face into the debate. And we heard today in the morning about IPCC recognizing that climate change is going to affect any of you. One man. Can one man stand up? One man. Thank you. Can I ask 4 women to stand up from that side? 4 women, can you stand up, please? 1. 3 more. Come on, just for 2, 3. 1 more. 4. Thank you. May I have the next slide, please? Next. No, without the pictures, please. Step forward. This is the Central American region. When we talk about differentiated impact, if we were in our region and the hurricane strikes, and this data is not only for Central America, but for the rest of the world as well, that will be the ratio of death. For every man that dies, 4 women will die in our part of the world, and according to the London School of Economics, this data is real as well for other regions. Thank you very much. You can sit. So what are the causes? May I have the next 2, please? Next. The other one? Next. So what are the causes? And here I think it is important to try to avoid to be simplistic and say, yes, women are the victims because they're naturally weaker. It's not about being naturally weak. It's about the different vulnerabilities that both men and women have because of our gender conditions. Many women, as we know, live in conditions of social exclusion. Next. And we have to understand what are the causes of those vulnerabilities. And they depend in large part of the assets, the physical, the financial, the human, the social, and the natural assets that one person has. And in this respect, disaster risk reduction is fundamental because for more than 2 decades, they had been working in the analysis of vulnerabilities. And it's fundamental to understand who has access and who has control. Let me tell you a story of a woman called Doña Vera. Doña Vera used to live by the coast of, in Honduras, in the Atlantic coast. And when Hurricane Mitch struck her community, she didn't know that a hurricane was coming. One of her neighbors came and told her, Vera, I heard on the radio that winds of 260 kilometers are coming. And Doña Vera said, 260, is that too much or too little? This is a woman that had never driven a car. This is a woman that had never gone to school. 260 kilometers for her meant nothing. And then her neighbor said, I heard that my husband went to a meeting and we have to walk nearby the benches of the river to save ourselves. And that was precisely one of the things that they should have not done. They started walking by one of the areas and the water started rising and Doña Vera could only save one of the 3 kids she was carrying with her. She was able to climb on a tree, and she was rescued 3 days later, put into rescue into a refugee camp, and as in her own words, she said, "You know what happens to a single mother in these places?" She was raped. She then returned back home, nothing left. Her house used to be just made out of zinc, and there was a program to help them reconstruct their houses. Soon, Doña Vera found out she was not eligible because she didn't have papers that will tell anybody that that land in which she had been living was hers. So these are the assets. Doña Vera didn't have to face the disaster. Doña Vera is a very strong woman, but she didn't have the knowledge, she didn't have the land under her name that will help her to face the impacts of what she was suffering. Next. But Doña Vera is just one example. There are other issues, simple issues like learning how to swim and climb trees, or the right to have the possibility to move whenever you want to move, also have an impact on the vulnerabilities. Next. But there is other sides of the coin. It's not only about women. After major disasters, men are also experiences many, many different ways. For example, the large number of widowers, the difficulties in raising the young families, how to look after the kids and look after my productive activities, emotional trauma in coping with losses. Next. But you may say, oh yes, these are just stories. And a lot of people that are working on the climate change said, these are anecdotes. Well, in 2007, London School of Economics analyzes 141 disasters in various countries. And they are providing us with the decisive evidence that gender differences in death from disasters are directly linked to women's economic and social rights. When women's rights are not protected, I'm okay? More women than men will die from disasters. The study also found out the opposite. In society where women and men enjoy equal rights, disasters kill the same number of women and men. I will advise you to look at that study, Numejar and Plumper, great analysis and very well done from the statistical point of view. Next. So what does this mean? This means that the empowerment of women should be one of the priorities in adaptation and risk reduction strategies and initiatives. But these are not the only linkages. Next. 2 more slides, please. We also have to understand that women are powerful agents of change and their leadership is crucial. Women have always been leaders in community. Revitalization and natural resource management is just one area. Next, please. For example, women from many indigenous communities possess repertoires of what we're calling coping strategies that they have traditionally used to manage climate variabilities. For example, in Rwanda, women have reported to produce more than 600 varieties of beans. Or in Peru, the Aguaruna women plant more than 60 varieties of environment. If it's too rainy, too dry, too cold, too hot, they will know. They have those coping strategies to adapt to these changes. Also, next, men and women have different roles. We have been talking, we heard Wangari talking about forest resources and forest management. And we know by thousands of studies that have been done throughout all our countries that women and men play a different role in seedling and small trees, in planting and maintaining homestead woodlots and plantation of public lands.